Hello, everybody. My name is Dave Sundstrom, and I'm here with my brother Steve. And we are, once again, we're returning to something that we did years ago, and it feels like we do it once a year now. We need to do this more often. This is our Mayberry Memories podcast, and today we are going to discuss the all-time top-rated episode of the Andy Griffith Show, according to IMDb. I'm talking about Convicts at Large, Season 3, Episode 11. Steve, do you want to give us kind of a summary of that episode?
It's hilarious. Basically, it starts with Aunt Barney and Floyd, and they're getting done with the fishing trip, and they get in the car, Floyd's car, to go back to Mayberry, and they're out of gas. They run out of gas. And so they're trying to figure out how to get back in town. They discuss some different options, such as maybe trying to get the car towed, and they ultimately decide to walk to a nearby cabin that someone they know owns to just get some gas. And that's Charlie O'Malley's cabin. And so as they head over there, they end up running into this rough bunch of convicts, these three ladies who at first they don't realize that they're convicts, but then as soon as they do, the tables get turned. And that's the whole premise of the show is Barney and Floyd are being held captive by these three ladies, and they need to try to get away.
Yeah, exactly. And it's a hilarious episode, really one of the funniest, definitely up there with some of the others that I never get tired of watching. Citizen's Arrest is one of them that I just never get tired of. The Haunted House episode, just for sheer hijinks. This one is right up there with them for sure.
Yeah, my favorite episode is the Christmas episode. But yeah, Citizen's Arrest is hilarious. There's a number that I probably would rank higher, but you're right. This one, according to IMDb, is the highest rated episode.
Right. There's episodes that are more important to me. I think they're higher quality because of the message that they share and the feelings that I get. But just from a pure comedic standpoint, Convicts at Large is hard to beat.
It really is. And, so you and I, we're both huge fans of Don Knotts. And boy, he hits it in this show. And, the running gag with Barney not having bullets in his gun and only carrying one bullet. It's so funny how that plays out in this episode.
Oh, for sure. For sure. There's very little Andy actually in this episode. It is a showcase for Don Knotts and for Howard McNear. And those two are quite the comedic team. They are really good together.
They really are. When one of the ladies that has kidnapped him keeps calling Barney Al. And so Howard, Floyd the barber, keeps calling Barney Al throughout the episode. And the looks of disgust Barney gives him. Comedy gold.
It really is. The fact Floyd calls Al throughout most of the episode is just hilarious. There's something a little bit bittersweet about this episode. I don't know if you realize this, but this is the last Howard McNear episode prior to his stroke.
Yeah, I read that. So I didn't realize that until I was reading a little bit more about this episode. And it was like 18 months that he was gone after this episode.
Yeah. And he filmed many more episodes as Floyd the barber, but they were all where he was very stationary in the barber shop or sitting on the bench outside the barber shop. They were all settings where he wasn't required to move or he could be propped up. This was the last real Floyd the barber adventure.
And yeah, really was.
Howard makes the most of it for sure. He's every bit Don Knotts equal, and I think Don is a comedic legend, and Howard really shines here as well. Just so very good.
You think about the fact that Howard had McNear had that stroke, but did come back to the show, and what a testament to the cast and the producers and Andy to continue to have Howard as part of the show and to work him in so he didn't have to move around a lot. And he could sit and still be part of the show, part of the cast, and he forever be part of the cast.
Absolutely. He was part of the Mayberry family, right? And can you imagine if this had been Floyd's last appearance on the Andy Griffith Show? How sad would that have been? So I'm so glad that they did that.
Yeah, same here. And I guess Floyd went on to be in almost the whole series, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think his final episode was during season 7. And Howard actually didn't live much longer after the Andy Griffith Show ended. The stroke really did a number on him. I think it's Naomi, the one that's violent towards men, hits Floyd on the head with the Voss.
Yeah. She hits him
I,
with a
I, I
vase
was
or a
thinking
vase. Yeah.
that couldn't have helped his physical condition. I'm not saying it brought on a stroke.
Who's to
Clearly,
say? I'm sure it didn't bring on the stroke, but it didn't help.
and it probably was a Voss that was designed to break. But
I'm sure it
nonetheless,
was.
it looked
Right.
like it hurt. It really
Yeah.
looked like it hurt.
The funny thing about this episode is there really weren't that many actors in it. It's a pretty small cast for an episode. You had the 3 ladies, you have Howard and Dawn, and then Andy Griffith, and then the guy whose cabin it's supposed to belong to, right? And that's pretty
Right.
much it.
That's it. Yeah. The woman who played Naomi, did you recognize her as one of the fun girls?
I didn't recognize her as one of the fun girls, but I did read that she had been one of the fun girls. A lot of the characters that were in these shows would appear in more than one episode, oftentimes as different characters, right?
Correct.
In fact,
Yeah.
the guy that plays Charlie O'Malley, the guy who owns the cabin that they're staying at, he was in four total Andy Griffith episodes as well, always as a different character.
So it was Jean Carson, who was Naomi, and
Right.
Jane Dulo, who played Sally. And then, of course, Rita Shaw, who played Big Maud, a woman with numerous aliases.
Right.
Some of those aliases were pretty funny. She was known as a man, right? I can't remember one of the other
Harry or Henry something that was one of the aliases.
You know, it's just silly. But
Yeah.
Rita Shaw, she showed up in the Andy Griffith Show later on during season 4, but also she was in a number of different movies, including Mary Poppins.
Yeah.
But all in all, it was a very good episode.
I love every moment with Floyd in the show.
Yeah.
In fact,
they're all
one of my favorite shirts that you got me one time when you went to Mount Airy, North Carolina, was the Pink Floyd shirt. And Pink Floyd, you're thinking it's the rock band Pink Floyd, but it's just a picture of Floyd all done in pink. And it's awesome.
Classic.
Classic, yeah.
All right. Any final thoughts about this episode, Steve?
It was just funny. The way that they gradually, once Andy Griffith kind of catches on, as the Sheriff Taylor catches on to what's going on, and he shows up, and him and this Charlie O'Malley lure the ladies out of the cabin one by one and they cuff them up. And the comedy there is pretty good as well. Andy Griffith, he was pretty funny as a character actor too. He was just as important to the comedy of the show as was Dunn.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. I think the funniest stuff in here is Sally, whose ex-husband was named Al, who Barney reminds her of. And the fact that everyone calls Barney Al, including Floyd, is just, it's great. And it's funny, and it's sweet, and it's silly, and that's the Andy Griffith Show in a nutshell.
You know what I love about the Andy Griffith Show, and you and I have talked about it a lot of times, it's just how simple the times were. It's wholesome. The writing's funny. It can be funny without being crude. And it holds up 60 years later, and it's still funny.
It's funny that the black and white episodes seem to hold up even better than the color episodes.
I tried to get my girls to watch the Andy Griffith Show, and they're always like, but it's black and white. And I'm like, come on, just watch it.
Yeah, just watch it. It's so good. And in these chaotic times where the world seems to be going to pot, it's a much needed antidote for the stressors of everyday modern life.
Yeah. Amen. You can say that again.
Hey, Steve, maybe tell us a little bit about your channel and what's going on over there, and talk about your latest video.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Thanks for the opportunity. My channel is a lot like yours, although maybe about a decade behind as far as the shows that I talk about. You tend to focus on the 60s, 70s, and 80s. I'm more probably 70s, 80s, and 90s. It's difference in our age, right? But my most recent video was a video about one of my favorite actors, Peter Falk, and just talking about his iconic performance as Lieutenant Columbo and that sharp, razor sharp mind he had as a detective, as a homicide detective, and the unfortunate decline he had, which you and I have seen. We saw our mom suffer with dementia, but to see someone so sharp struggle with dementia in his later years was sad. So my video is a little bit about that. And I love Columbo. Columbo is one of my all-time favorite shows. I have the whole series on DVD, all the movies on DVD. In fact, we were talking about my girls. I showed one of them a Columbo movie the other day, one of the later movies from the 80s, and she loved it. It was great. And he's a legend.
Yeah. Yeah. I loved your video. Really enjoyed it. And I hope you keep making more videos like that, Steve. It's really good work. And folks, if you haven't checked out Steve's channel, it's actually Stephen Sundstrom here on YouTube. Definitely give it a try. If you enjoy my videos, I'm quite certain you're going to enjoy his videos as well. And, go ahead and subscribe to the channel and support Steve the way you support me.
Absolutely. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you, Dave.
3 ladies on the run broke out of state jail. Big Maud led the pack. They were raising some hell. Andy heard the call, but Barney was gone. Fishing with Floyd, that's when things went wrong. They ran out of gas, so they knocked on Charlie's door. The convicts were inside, waiting to settle the score. Barney lost his gun, and Floyd lost his cool. They were trapped in a cabin under Big Maud's rules. Oh, Big Maud's got the Mayberry blues. They're dancing with Barney, they got nothing to lose. Floyd's frozen with fear, he just wants to stay alive. It's a crazy day in Mayberry, just trying to survive. Naomi took Floyd to town to get some supplies, but Andy got suspicious, there was fear in Floyd's eyes. A party at the cabin, that just didn't sound right. Andy smelled trouble, he could sense there'd be a fight. Oh, Big Maud's got the Mayberry blues. They're dancing with Barney, they got nothing to lose. Floyd's frozen with fear, he just wants to stay alive. It's a crazy day in Mayberry, just trying to survive. So Sheriff Andy came a-sneaking around the cabin door, and one by one the ladies' freedom was no more. The convicts were captured and Floyd pronounced a hero. Did Barney get any credit? No, not a zero. Oh, Big Maud's got the Mayberry blues. They're dancing with Barney, they got nothing to lose. Floyd's frozen with fear, he just wants to stay alive. It's a crazy day in Mayberry, just trying to survive. Oh, Big Maud's got the Mayberry blues. They're dancing with Barney, they got nothing to lose. Floyd's frozen with fear, he just wants to stay alive. It's a crazy day in Mayberry, just trying to survive.
You didn't have to do it, but you did. So thank you very much for your support.
Click on that thumbnail cause it's time to go. Dave's got the classics, let the memories flow. TV shows and movies that we all hold so dear. On his YouTube channel he's keeping memories near. Dave Sundstrom, bringing back the good stuff, oh yeah.